What's up, everyone? Welcome to a very special segment, Babes and Buffs, that we have going on in our off season. I am here with two amazing people. We've got Ollie. Ollie, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I am very excited to talk Babes and Buffs as the unofficial podcaster that just unapologetically roots for women on Survivor. I felt like it was the perfect thing for me.
You're absolutely perfect, and that's why you're my co-host. And so welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being such a huge part of this amazing segment. And we are also here with a super special guest, Caroline from Survivor Australia. Caroline, how are you doing?
I'm so good. How are you, Tori?
Oh, I'm good. We were just talking before we got on here that we are all in like very separate time zones. I just woke up. It is 6:30 in the morning, Chicago time. Caroline's getting ready to go to bed, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's 9:30. It's 9:40 p.m. here.
It's getting there. And then, Al, you're in the middle of your day, right?
Yeah. This is the most international podcast we could get.
This is the most international.
Awesome.
It's honestly amazing. Well, before we get into it, this is our first official episode of Babes and Buffs. So for those that don't know, yes, we are so excited. And Caroline, thank you so much for kicking this off with us. For those that don't know what Babes and Buffs is, don't know what you're watching, let me give you like a quick rundown. So we are doing this super special, as I said, off-season segment where we are kind of like going over groups of seasons in increments of 10. So we're going to talk about 10 seasons at a time and very amazing women that played on those seasons. And we're kind of focusing on a few different categories. We are focusing on challenge beasts, outstanding finalists, players that should have returned, and most robbed. So those are kind of like our focus categories, but we're going to be picking out and talking about highlighting different women from all of those seasons. And our ultimate goal is to come up with a dream tribe of, for Ollie and I, it's going to be 10 women. And for each of our guests, they're going to choose 2 to 3 women out of that season that they would put on a dream tribe. So the idea is that there would be a season of 10 women and 10 men. So kind of like men versus women. Who would we have on our all-women tribe? So that is the ultimate goal of Babes and Buffs. And we are super excited to be talking about it. So, Caroline, before we officially start talking about all of these seasons of US Survivor, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your experience on Australian Survivor, because a lot of our fans, watch Australian Survivor, but, it's hard to find where to watch it. As I was saying earlier, like, they took it off Paramount Plus. How dare they? Paramount Plus is a thing. Like, please put it back. I want to watch Caroline. I want to watch my girl. So tell us about your experience. Like, how did you do? Where did you place? Stuff like that.
Well, I played on Series 9, Titans versus Rebels. So not the last season just played, but the season before. So I filmed in 2023. It aired in 2024. And it was without doubt one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was very fortunate, and I got to play 47 days, and it's a 47-day game. So I was runner-up. I came second. It was huge. It was one of it's the most insane challenge that you can ever put yourself under. I never thought that I could last 7 days, let alone 47 days, sleeping in the wild and sleeping on a beach and not eating a lot of food. And it was rough. It was so rough. And I don't know how much of Australian Survivor you've watched, but it's a very, very physical game out there. But it was incredible. I learned so much about myself. If I had the opportunity, yes, 100%, I'd be back out there again. And it's one of those things that I think when you become part of the Survivor family, it's like something in your blood now. You just can't describe it. It's amazing.
That is so cool. And congratulations on runner-up. I actually, I looked that up earlier. I admittedly have not been able to watch your season of Australian Survivor just because, as I said, like, I don't always know where to watch Australian Survivor. I would love to.
I'm just wondering whether if you join the Australian Survivor fan page on Facebook, shout out to them, they have they have all the seasons on there, so I'm pretty sure you can access all the seasons actually.
Yeah.
Amazing.
If not, I can send you links.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm not actually on Facebook, but I would make a Facebook just to join that page because I really want to watch it. I was literally in the middle of season 1 when they took it off Paramount Plus. Like I was like loving it, having such a good time watching. I'm so excited to be like, all I really watch is like old seasons of Survivor, which I'm totally happy doing. But I was excited to be watching like a new season that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was gone and I couldn't find out where else to watch it. So anyway, well, thank you so much for that rundown. I mean, it's good to know that you would play again so that maybe once I get, my Australian Survivor like place to watch all ready to go, maybe I'll watch you again. I'm excited for that. So, and really quick, so obviously we're going to be talking about US Survivor.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite US Survivor season?
So I've been watching Survivor since it first started. And I was talking to Ollie a little bit earlier, and I was just saying, like, it's like an old friend to me, and especially these older seasons. So talking about the first 10 seasons, I've watched these over and over and over again. I hadn't watched them for quite some time, so it was really fun kind of digging back through them again and reacquainting myself with some of these amazing players that came through these first 10 seasons, and how much we learned and how much it just set the tone and how much changed. Gosh, there was, anyway, I would say, and I've said this before, one of my favorite seasons is, so my favorites are probably China, David versus Goliath, Micronesia. I'm also a huge fan of Gabon, Africa, Australia. I don't know. They were just, where Survivor used to take us all over the world, and we obviously don't get to see that now, but it was just amazing going to even the Amazon. Like, it just took you to such incredible places, and the danger, like, and I'm, like you two, we're imagining what it would feel like to be sleeping beside animals and snakes and spiders and rats and it's wild. Whether you're by an ocean or whether you're in a desert, how you acclimatize to all of that, it's full on, and you've never been more further from your comfort zone than you've been playing Survivor. So you got to take your hat off to all these crazies playing these first 10 seasons.
Absolutely. And the elements were crazy in some of these
Crazy, yeah.
And you mentioned the Amazon. I heard that was one of the more brutal seasons.
It looks like it just looks damp all the time, wet. Yeah.
I mean, that must have been so rough.
Yeah.
But then, since we're on the topic, Ollie, what's your favorite season of Survivor? I don't actually even know.
My favorite season is the first season I ever watched, which was Token Jeans. It's when you've watched, like, the first season you ever watch, it just always has that kind of special place in your heart. So, like, that's why it's like my favorite season. Kind of like Caroline said, it is like an old friend. Like, I can go back and rewatch that like 30 times and I will still enjoy it every single time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the seasons that you all said were your favorites, because those are all seasons. Well, I mean, Caroline, you said that your main top season, your favorite one of all time, is China. And then Ollie's is Token Jeans. Both those go in my top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
And
it's really hard to pick a favorite, isn't it? Like, I actually can't say that, like, I've got a top 5. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've just said that. Can I say one more than the other? I love them all for different reasons and different people, and don't we? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's definitely fluid. Like, I feel like usually I'll say that my favorite is Micronesia, but in terms of my like top 5, sometimes it's just like what I watched most recently. Sometimes I mean, I was saying to Ollie that like sometimes I'll watch something later on and I'm like, oh, this is like, sometimes it's better than I remember it, but sometimes it's like not as good as I remember it. So sometimes that's my list as well. So it all just depends, I guess.
Yeah. I've just watched 23 and Whew, that was rough. Yeah, the men on that
Oh
were
my gosh. Yeah.
fucking disgusting. Yeah.
That was Ollie and I were just talking about some of those seasons kind of recently. And yeah, I kind of agree with you, I think, on that. Let's just say that. We kind of agree. But I guess last question before we officially get into it. Is there a Survivor player that is either your favorite, Caroline, or that you would like to play Survivor with?
Oh, gosh, that's such a good question. And I haven't had a chance to think about it, but I'm just trying to think like, because I like people that kind of rock the boat a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like that don't sit on their laurels and don't that are there to make a move and that are there to strategize. I like really strategic, smart people. There are so many women, and obviously we're going to go through so many women tonight. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like, oh my gosh. We're gonna have to come back on that question, I think. But
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's a tough question. There have been so many amazing players. And so yeah, if you think of one, even as we're going through,
I will. I 100% will. And I've already got like so many going through my mind, but it's like, and I need to land on one.
Yeah. And you don't want to just shout out an answer and then be like, oh, that's actually not it, you know? It's an important question. So, well, anyway, let's come back to that.
Okay,
but
cool.
We are going to get into it, I think. So we're going to start out, we're going to go in chronological order, and we're going to talk about kind of like, we're going to loosely talk about the categories that I mentioned earlier, but mainly we're just going to pull out women that stood out in each of these seasons, and they are going to be sort of like contenders for our dream tribe in the end.
Yeah.
So let's start out with season 1. I mean, you mentioned that these are like old friends to you. You watched this season like when it first aired. I have told the story on the podcast a couple of times about how like I watched it with my family, and it was like a family affair, and like everybody would gather around the TV, and it was like the biggest event of the week. And that's how it was for a few, like those first few seasons. And I mean, this season just took the world by storm. I think we can all agree on that. So Caroline, let's start with you. Is there or are there any women that really kind of like stood out to you, and why did they stand out this season?
Gosh. I think they stand out for different reasons. I mean, Sue obviously is one of the strongest characters on that season. She was the character that we all needed to see. She was absolutely crazy out there, but she was also quite strategic, but she took no bullshit from anybody. And there were things about her that I think we all love, but there was also some things that we disliked. And I think if we could mesh something in between, like she was amazing. And then you've got somebody like Colleen, who was so beautiful and so gentle and such a warm, giving tribe member out there. Maybe didn't offer a lot in terms of strategy, but then like the juxtaposition between the two of them was just wild. But were they my favorites? I don't think I had any favorites out there on that season. But in terms of who I think I should give an honorable mention to, they're mine. Where are you guys at?
Do you want me to go first, Tori?
Go ahead, Ollie. I was going to ask you next. So go.
My honorable mention for this season, I kind of am on the same boat as Caroline. There's no one that like stands out. Like you've got like the legends of Sue, of Kelly Wigglesworth. I want to give an honorable mention to someone who we are about to see on our screens again, which is Jenna Lewis. I feel like everyone sees her for All Stars, and I feel like when people are like, "Oh, how did she get on 50?" You think All Stars. I do want to look back at Borneo as well, because I feel like there is a reason she got All Stars. And it's because of what she's done. So, yeah, got to give a little shout out to my girl Jenna Lewis there. So,
I think that's a perfect shout out, and I love the people that you all brought up. I had a couple people written down. I had, Kelly Wigglesworth, obviously, kind of like was the first person to really sort of like stay in the game because of a challenge run,
Yeah.
be an immunity win run. So got to give her the shout out. She obviously came back in second chances. Jenna, we're about to see again, so I had her written down. But I also wanted to give a shout out to somebody that maybe is lesser known or not as remembered. And this is because in those first couple of seasons, the game was really about, like, people were still learning the game, right? So we didn't we saw a little
absolutely.
bit of strategy. Richard Hatch kind of like had the strategy down and sort of like ran with it. And so we saw a little bit of strategy, but it was really about a couple of other things. And that was strategy and likability. I'm sorry, not strategy. I'm sorry. Survival and likability. So those were kind of like the two things, and kind of like how you worked around camp. So I guess like three things. But somebody that had all of those things and suffered from the first official blind side of the game was Gretchen. And Gretchen, if you remember, Gretchen was the person to be voted out just before the merge, or she the jury by like one vote. And she like the idea of a blindside was like totally unheard of. Like, she like was doing so much work around camp. She knew all these survival skills. I think she like taught survival classes or something like that, or I don't know, something along those lines. She just had experience, and she was very likable, and she was just, trying to make sure she got along with everybody. And Tagi saw that, and they were like, get rid of her. And so she was not expecting to get voted out, and she thought she was just going to kind of like go to the end because of these skills. And I just wanted to give her a shout out. But
good job.
Yeah, all of the other people that you all mentioned are obvious people to have on my list as well. But
and I mean, Sue's final tribal speech will, obviously go down in history as one of the most iconic. As brutal and as hard as it was outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, yeah. The first like really, really harsh tribal council too.
And I guess to get a try, like a final, they knew, like I remember seeing Kelly Wigglesworth interviewed and her saying, I knew she was going to go off and at that final tribal, and did she ever? Yeah, she gave the crowd what we wanted.
Absolutely. Oh, did she ever? Yes, that was amazing. Well, season 1 obviously set the tone for the entire series, so we have to give credit where credit is due. We saw a lot of amazing women, a lot of amazing players in general. So thank you, season 1, for doing that for us.
Absolutely.
But let's get to season 2. I actually rewatched season 2 pretty recently, I would say. I watch a lot of these old seasons. I know these old seasons better than a lot of the other seasons, I would say. I like
too.
Yeah, they're just good, I don't know. To me, they still hold up. I don't know if everybody would agree with that, but
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's go in the same order as last time. Caroline, who were some women that really stood out to you in season 2?
Oh gosh, I'm just
or we can come back to you if you'd like.
No. I think obviously our introduction, you cannot, like, this is Jerry's first season. So Jerry is like, she's one of the most iconic women on ever. Like, if she doesn't make our dream team, then, we're all bonkers in the head. But I think her play out there, like, just looking back at those scenes with her and Colby, you can't help but think that there must have been some kind of chemistry before there wasn't. And I see you nodding your head, Tori. Yeah. I think I think that there was also a lot of expectation on this second season because the first one had done quite well. And from what I read, there were 30 million viewers of season 2, The Outback. Like, that's extraordinary. I mean, what show in America or anywhere else here, certainly not here, gets 30 million viewers? Yeah. So yeah, I think obviously I'm going to let you guys go because I could say a whole lot more, but you go, Ollie.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be right there with you. I'm not gonna lie. Like Jerry Manthey, absolute icon. Like snubbed for 50, the biggest snub of all. Like love Jerry. If we,
Far out.
I can't not. If there's any other people that I want to give like some little honorable mentions to, Alicia. Like
Oh, I love
fiery,
Lisa.
so strong. Like her and Kimmy's little fight over the
Yes.
chickens,
Love.
just so funny. Yeah, so I'd have to give a
I've
little
got that
honorable
written down.
I love that. I love that. Just like a
Mm.
tough woman. I mean, I
Oh.
love that you brought up Alicia. And I'm glad that we saw her return, but it would have been cool to
Yeah.
see her maybe one more time, I think. But yeah, I had Jerry written down as well. I had to write down Tina. I mean,
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
first female winner. She
Yeah.
really did an amazing job managing her threat level throughout the
Yeah.
game. I mean, and you kind of see it. Oops, that's sound is on. Let me. Okay, I don't know. My computer might do that from time to time. I'll see if I can fix that. But anyway, you really see it in a rewatch where Tina like was a lot better player than I think a lot of people really saw that first time around. And like when
And
I
gave her
watched
credit
it,
for.
I'm like, oh my god, she really had her finger on the pulse of the game.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
their time and sort of like aligned with the right people and stuck with the right people and sort of made the moves that she had to. Yeah, I mean, I thought she was an amazing player. It's hard on a rewatch too not to pay attention to Amber just because we know that she goes on to win later.
Yeah.
And, no, we're not going to talk a ton about season 8 All Stars just because it's all returning players. So like anything we bring up in All Stars, we probably would have already brought up. But I just wanted to like give her a little bit of a shout out too because she's pretty under the radar this season, but she played a similar game to Jerry. I mean, she stuck with Jerry and she stuck around a little bit longer in the game than Jerry did. But and it's just I don't know that I'd be paying as much attention to her in this season if I didn't know that she went on to win All Stars.
Yeah.
Anyway, just wanted to give her that mention as well.
And also just to mention Elizabeth Hasselbeck, like look what she went on to do. I mean, I when I did my little kind of rewatch of part of it, there was one of the guys that actually gave up their place in the game so that she could continue her journey because he thought that she needed the money more than he did, which was I'm just trying to think of his name. Roger.
Oh wait.
Roger.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. But then, after this, she gets her job on The View and I mean, look at where she is now. It's extraordinary.
It's crazy.
Do I want to give her any more airtime? Probably not.
I mean, she's gotten to where she wanted to go. I would agree with you. I mean, a lot of people kind of wanted to see her back on 50. I was thinking that, like, I thought it might be interesting just because, like, looking back at her Survivor journey, I mean, she really was, like, a sweetheart on that season. And, like,
I loved her when I first watched it.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Who didn't? I mean, she was cute. She was nice. She was, she made a good connection with Roger, as you were saying. And, she did all of these things. And, like, that was when, as I said earlier, like, the game was a lot about likability. And, she was very likable. So, can't help but love her in that season. But in terms of like knowing where she got in her life, there are of course players that I would have rather seen on 50.
And just in view of the political climate right now, obviously in America, it's contentious, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
We won't get too far into that.
No.
Definitely.
You're
very right about that. Well, season 2, to me, that season still holds up. And I don't think that the fact that they played 42 days on that season. Like nobody did that. Kind of crazy. Longest season of US Survivor. So one that credit as well. But then we get to season 3, another season that I rewatched pretty recently. And I think this season also still holds up. We got a lot of really good players on this season. And in my opinion, a lot of players that maybe should have returned. But let's
Yeah.
in reverse order this time, just to kind of like maybe we'll start snaking around. So like
Sounds
I'll
good.
start one round and then Caroline will start the other round. Ali, who have you got from season 3?
I mean, there is so many iconic women. The two that I'm going to point out, because I feel like I was going to go for other people, but I felt like you two may go for them first. Go for them. So I have got Kelly Goldsmith, who I really enjoyed. I kind of felt like she was a little bit under the radar, and then it was obviously like the whole thing between her and Lex. And Kim Powers.
Yes, I
There
love
was
Kim
just
Powers.
something about Kim Powers for me. I was like, she is someone that I kind of look back and I go, how have we not seen her back? Like,
Yeah.
I love Kim Powers. So yeah, those are my 2 picks.
I love those picks, Ali. Caroline, who have you got?
I'm just trying to think who I loved the most out there. I'm just because I've focused more on gameplay rather than the actual individuals, and I'm just trying to think back. I mean, when you look at Kim Johnson, like she was obviously she wasn't the strongest out there, and yes, she went back and forth, and but she ended up holding up her own. And for somebody her age, and obviously I played as a much older woman as well, I kind of looked at her and just thought, she was absolutely extraordinary out there. Was strategy her strategy probably wasn't her best trait out there, but I think in terms of likability as well, she got along with everyone, and she obviously contributed around camp. She gave everything 100%. She didn't piss anyone off.
Yeah.
So that she's who came to mind for me.
I love that assessment of Kim. And I mean, it's another thing that really speaks to what was important in those early Survivor days. And Kim really did a good job with that. And she did win an immunity. However, I read that they made a mistake with her win or something. One of the players got that question right, or got another question right or something. I forget.
Her and Lex.
Yeah, I think it was. And then but they missed it, and so Kim ended up.
That's right. I think it was the number of tattoos. One of how many tattoos? The woman who had the most tattoos or no tattoos or something like that, and Lex also got it right. So apparently, I read that somewhere that he ended up getting second prize place money as well.
I read that too, because I mean, he would have probably made it to the end because he was going on that immunity run, and
totally
hadn't won. Then so that was unfortunate for Lex, but great for Kim. And I definitely agree with all the things that you said about Kim Johnson. I actually had both those people written down as well, or well, not both those people, but I had Kim Johnson written down and I had Kim Powers written down. So it's brought her up. Yeah, something as Ollie said, I can't exactly explain what it is about Kim Powers. She's kind of like an Elizabeth Hasselbeck,
a beautiful girl next door, but she's very smart. She was very smart.
Smart. You could tell, she wasn't just there to be cute and to be fun. They were there to play, and so that's the reason why I think they stood out as that type of player. But I'm with Ollie. Why haven't we seen her back? And she's a person that if they ever did, and I'm still sort of manifesting that they're gonna do a Second Chances 2 or something in the 50s. Maybe they're gonna bring back some of those old schoolers still. So I like to think that there's still hope for some of those old schoolers that we still want to see, but I don't want to give people false hope because I have no idea what's gonna happen. Knowing. But then I also wanted to shout out one more person from season 3, and that is T-Bird, who also,
of course,
she was playing she was starting to kind of think of strategizing and planting seeds in people's heads just to keep them around. Obviously, in the end, it didn't ultimately work out for her, but people were thinking about what she was saying. So I mean, she was, I don't want to say she was like the first to really like play that type of strategy, but
Yeah,
she was like kind of thinking in a way that people weren't really thinking back.
yeah, he was.
And the way, sorry, you go, Ollie.
No, I was just going to know this is completely off topic, so you go first, and then I'll say my piece.
No, I was just going to say, and like that vote that she gave Lex that just drove him crazy.
Yeah.
It was just like she played that so perfectly. And I think that was like her turning point in the game, that really she started thinking about, okay, how am I going to get myself to the end? And she started thinking strategically. But she was also, I mean, I adore her. I still adore her. So yeah, how can you not? Like, she's amazing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I follow her on Instagram. She's the best person to follow on Instagram. She's the sweetest soul. It literally is. Always Instagram stories of her on Delta going, "Come fly with me," and I love it. So I have to say that it is daily now. I will go onto my Instagram and just see her story, and I'm like, I've got to get it because I need to. I love it.
I also follow her on Instagram, and I can definitely attest to the fact that she's very fun to follow on Instagram. But
she's such a sweetheart, such a sweetheart. Yeah,
I love watching her for sure, and love how she is in real life too, seemingly on like social media and stuff. But great season. Love Africa. I personally think it's underrated. But now we're gonna get to Marquesas, where I mean, we get iconic players in every season, but this was like obviously the reason why it stands out to a lot of people is that it's Boston Rob's first season, but we also get a lot of really great women. So let's talk about the women. Caroline, who you got from season 4, Marquesas?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Kathy Vavrick O'Brien.
How can you not? How can you not?
Like, I mean, why wasn't she in 50 either? She was extraordinary out there. I mean, I think when you go out to play your first season too, and you're like, she would really try to like enmesh herself in the tribe, and I think she really found it quite difficult, as we all saw, to kind of find people that she could relate to. But she ends up finding her path, and think, you know, that moment when she pees on. Remember the guy that gets stung by the. Yeah. Like, and how she's like her line where she says, you know, how she can just kind of perform on demand. And it was just hysterical. But I think that she was thinking about the game. She's also an intelligent woman, very strategic, and yet, like, I mean, obviously her next season is so much, like, we'll talk about that later. But I think she was one of the standout stars, and certainly the standout woman for me on that tribe, on that season.
Love that tribe. Ali, who you got?
I've got 2 picks. One of them, I'm going to go with the kind of more out of the way one. It is a pre-merger who I felt like if we'd seen her come back, we would have seen her absolutely kill it the second time, and that is Gina Cruz.
Okay.
She was someone that I think I've seen fans being like, when it came to second chances, everyone was like, Gina deserves a second chance. She didn't get it. I can't speak. She didn't get in the good luck, but not because of her own fault. It was other people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see Gina come back. And then the other person I want to give a mention to is the first POC winner, the icon, this person that I think should have been on 50, the person that I think should have been on Winners at War, the Sepia. I absolutely love the Sepia. I think she has got such an underrated win. And she is someone like Tori knows that, like, for the Dream Tribe, me and Tori have a couple of little rules that we've got to stick to, and it is one winner. She is in that contender. Like, she's in contention to have that winner spot. I just love the Sepia. She is someone I'd love to see come back time and time again. I'd just love to speak to her daily.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love those picks. I had both those names written down. Those are the only two names I had written down, actually. I did not have Gina, but I do love, like, I can always count on Ollie to, like, have the deep cuts and to kind of,
Love
like,
it.
pick out some of the
I would always have
pre-mergers
deep cut.
that maybe because, like, when thinking about this list, like, I have been writing down, like, kind of the first names that come to mind, and then going back and thinking, like, okay, what was kind of, like, the boot order? But I can really count on Ollie to really think all the way back and pull some of those
Good job,
robbed
Ollie.
mergers, because, you know, one of our categories was most robbed, and we can say that Gina was robbed, you know? And a merger that didn't really get a chance to play, I guess we could say that about. But yeah, for similar reasons to the ones that you all said, I mean, how can you not pull Kathy? Kathy is one of my favorite, like, early players, players. I'm glad that she got a chance to come back. I was sad about how she went out on All Stars, but yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, she was obviously heartbroken.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the world would have been heartbroken. We all were.
Yes, no, obviously, and she's a person that I think. I mean, I'm with you. I think she deserved to come back at least one more time. She was not done. She was not done.
No.
And then Vesepia. I mean, Vesepia, I'm actually shocked. First of all, that she wasn't out on Winners at War. And secondly, I mean, if I didn't think that we were doing winners on season 50. But now that I know that there are winners on 50, I'm like, why wasn't Vesepia one of the winners? Like, we haven't seen her back, and I want to see her play. I did see her on The Price is Right, though, not too long ago. So I don't think she won anything, but she was definitely on there. So she got that opportunity at least. But anyway, great season. Love Marquesas. It's one that I plan on rewatching again very soon, but I've seen it like a couple of times so far. Yeah. All right. We're now on season 5, and I'm going to be honest. I don't have a lot to say about season 5. I have one.
Should I just do this for everyone? I feel like this is the easiest thing to do. Cheyenne, we love Cheyenne. Let's keep
I mean,
that was mine.
Fair. I wrote down Helen because I'm like,
yes, Helen Glover.
I mean, that's like the one name that I can feel fine about. So, yeah, that's all I'm really gonna say. This is my least favorite season. I'm sorry, Thailand. I'm sorry to all the women that maybe deserve to play again. We saw one person return. That was Sheehan. Like, I think we're good. You know,
it's kind of like it's a really hard season to go back and look over and watch, but in some ways I feel like we have to, because I feel for those women that were out there. Like, you couldn't have, and it really kind of bugs me that production didn't step in, that Gandia had to put up with what she did, and that Helen, Jane, Xian, like the misogyny on that season was just like just vile. Yeah.
No, I would.
I'm feeling nauseous from it. It's gross.
Yeah, could not have said it better myself. Like, should not have happened, gone down that way. I wish that the experience was better for those players and those women.
Yeah.
And it's just it's unfortunate. It's kind of like season 39. Like, there are so many iconic players, women specifically from season 39, and I feel like they don't get the credit that they deserve just because of like the season that they were on. So that's just like,
you need to bring me back to talk about that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, you should be a guest. we have a guest. We should have another guest, because I could talk with you all day, first of all, and I feel like that can be an interesting conversation just in general. So anyway, well, those, I guess there are a couple women to choose from, but overall, I think that we can be done talking about Thailand.
Let's be done with that.
Next we have the Amazon, and the Amazon
Bloody hell.
is actually, I actually don't like. I think like some sources will rate it like pretty high, but I think it's like generally underrated. Like, I think that this is a really good season, especially for an early season of Survivor. And I'm interested to see who you all have from the Amazon. So Ollie, let's start with you. Who have you got?
So I mean, I feel like when it comes to babes and buffs in the Amazon, we can't not talk about peanut butter. So I do have to bring in my girl Heidi. I loved Heidi. I thought she was so funny. She was just misunderstood, in my opinion. Again, someone I'd love to see come back.
But was she? But was she misunderstood?
I don't know about misunderstood.
And then also,
I think she's one of the smartest, actually, one of the smartest with the highest IQs that's ever played on Survivor. But in terms of social intelligence out there,
common sense, shall we say, is probably the best.
And looking back on that, I cannot believe those girls stripped naked. Like,
I know.
I
what
can't.
the fuck were they thinking? Like, they might have been able to do something less to get peanut butter and chocolate. Do you know what I mean?
Hey. No, I know. It's so crazy.
It worked. And if I can say one other person, just because I think it was very momentous for the occasion, it was the first death contestant, which was Christy. I feel can't not give her a shout out.
Yeah. So mine was Christy was definitely up there, but my probably my favorite out there was Dina.
I love that choice.
Yeah. I think that she's also probably one of the most underrated female players that has ever played in US Survivor history. I loved her out there. I remember watching her for the first time, and then I've obviously rewatched and then rewatched again for this, and nothing changed for me about her. She was like, I think she had that like emotional intelligence, but she was very strategic. She knew when she knew when she needed to. I think she was thinking steps ahead of other people, and I don't think other people were necessary. Definitely, a lot of the other women, she was thinking steps ahead of them, and I think when she was booted, that was gut wrenching. I really wanted her to win. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that choice. And I would agree, definitely super underrated. I've been seeing a lot of things recently pop up on like social media, and it's one of my favorite things to like vote on. Like our friend over at Survivor Quotes has been posting like, you have one more person to add to like second chances, or you have one more person to add to like heroes versus villains, and who out of these choices would you choose? I remember Dina was one of the options for one of them.
Yeah.
And I was between her and somebody else. I was like, oh my gosh, Dina, like I would love to see her come back. And it's almost sad because I'm like, I kind of forgot about Dina until now, but like some of these people deserve so much more credit. And it's unfortunate because like if some of these amazing players only play once, it's like you think about them for a while, but then more amazing players come, and then there's maybe some players that come back that sort of like steal the show or that are top of mind. And it's just unfortunate because you don't think about players like Dina anymore. But I love those options. Those are definitely players that come to mind for me. I had Heidi written down because, I mean, she was somebody that, like, a lot of people were like, okay, she and Jenna were, like, working together this whole time. Like, one of them obviously take it home. And we obviously saw Jenna take it home. So I always like to, I mean, I feel like it's a little unfair to constantly like bring up the winners, but I think it's really important to also continuously highlight if a woman won. So, I obviously wanted to do that as well. So Jenna obviously took the W on this one. And I think, so at the time, and I think she's still maybe the second youngest winner of all time.
I think wasn't Jed the youngest?
Jenna,
sorry.
Jenna's the youngest. And so I think, Jenna is the second youngest to ever have won. Or is Marianne younger? No,
I do believe Jenna's still second.
Okay. Amazing. So I mean, I think that's important to highlight as well, because to be so young and to navigate a game like that, I just think about myself at age like 21 or so, and I know I could never do it.
And to win 4 individual immunities.
Absolutely. And getting Rob out when she did, Genius.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I mean, everybody like Rob was a strategic mastermind. So in order to get him out, I mean, you got to be good. So good on her for that because
she clocked it.
Definitely. So definitely wanted to give credit where credit is due, and that is to Jenna for taking home the title on season 6. Great season. Love that season. Then, all right, let's get to season 7, Pearl Island, which is another amazing season.
Right, yeah.
One of my favorites, I would say, probably top 10 for me. But my list is pretty fluid. So definitely for one of those early seasons, it's one of the best. So Caroline, who have you got from season 7?
Well, we can't go past the queen herself, can we? Like, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, she was absolutely extraordinary out there. I think the opening to this particular season was one of the best openings ever in any season of Survivor that I've ever seen. That was so much fun, getting them going through the market and with money and just like it just
haggle.
Oh, it was just so fun to watch. I think the way that, this is what I think about Sandra. She plays herself. Like, I don't think she's not playing a character out there. She's absolutely true to herself. She says what she means. She when she doesn't say something, it's also saying something. Do you know what I mean? It's also what she doesn't say and how she is able to hold her tongue. And the way that somebody who's not physical, but obviously very strategic and can sit back and watch. I mean, the way she went and got the tarp off that other tribe.
Oh my God.
It was so funny, so fantastic. And she had no problem, she's she's strong in her own right. It mightn't be at physical challenges, but by gosh, she showed us really that there was another way to win this game, and that you didn't need to be physically strong to do it.
So true. And so well put. I mean, all of Sandra's strengths, I think that you really highlighted there. And you're absolutely right that she sort of like, I don't know, created this turning point in the game where, as you said, like you don't have to be good at challenges to win this game.
Yeah. And
so now, I mean, you look at the game now and it's almost like being good at challenges is like the least important thing. Whereas before, I mean, early on, that was like the most important. If you were on a challenge, on like an immunity run, you had a really good shot at winning the game. Now you can do that and get no votes in the end. So I think Sandra really kind of did that. You're absolutely right. Ollie, did you want me to go next, or did you want?
Yeah, you go next because I've got some deep cuts.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
So Caroline, before I go, did you said Sandra? Did you have another one or?
Like I know that this is probably I'm going to say that I loved Krista out there as well. Like I just thought I just adored her. Like I just adored her as a person. I thought the relationship that she had with Rupert out there and with Sandra out there. I don't know. I thought her edit was hard done by. She was hard done by some of the males out there, but I adored her as a person. Like I remember watching her season and thinking, I'd so love to know you in real life. Like I think you'd be a really beautiful human to be around.
I love that. And it's so funny you say that because I also had Krista written down because I felt the same way. I mean, it seems like, Caroline, you and I kind of like the same people or are drawn to similar people, it seems like, which maybe means we would be friends if we knew each other. Come to Chicago anytime. But
come to Australia.
I will do it. But I kind of felt the same way. I mean, Krista seems like a person that I would be friends with in real life, and she was playing a good game. I mean, she had a really good alliance going. She was solid. I really enjoyed her. And I'm gonna actually say 2 more people. So the first person to be voted out was Nicole, and I feel like I feel like she could have, like, when they had the opportunity to vote people back in. I actually, when I was applying to be on this podcast, I talked about Pearl Island and this particular moment, And I was like, why did they vote Lil back in when they could have voted Nicole back in, who I think really stirred
I've got it.
up.
I've heard a theory about that.
Yeah. What's your theory? I want to hear.
No, I've heard a theory. It's not my theory, but the theory is that they apparently, once those guys left that tribal where they voted the two of them back in, they went on a trip together and they didn't want to travel with her.
Yeah. I've heard that rumor.
That tracks, because they did used to do those trips. I don't think they do those anymore, but for anybody that's like a pre-merger and not on the jury, they used to send them on a trip. Tyson talks about it in his podcast, how he and Rob went on their trip or whatever. But anyway, that's interesting. I figured like, I won't say my theories, I guess, on air because maybe it would go on for too long. But I have my own theories, I guess I'll say, and maybe I can say it some other time. But if I was on that like outcast tribe and I have the opportunity to vote somebody back in, I'm trying my best to vote the person back in that's going to stir things up the most, cause drama, and be the most upset. And like Nicole was the first person out. She seemed pretty scrappy. Like if I'm looking at my options, I'm voting her and Burton back in.
He was out there without a bra.
Yeah. Wait,
he was out there without a bra.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
because they were all in their suits and their dresses, and because they thought they were going on a shoot, they didn't think they were starting the game. And I remember in a tube dress and boob tube dress, and the poor thing didn't even have a bra out there.
Sorry, could never be me. But she crushed it for the short amount of time that she was on there, and I would have liked to see her back. So I wanted to give her that shout out, and I also wanted to say Tijuana. I mean, she was very, very fun to watch. She was a great player. Just wanted to mention her name as well.
She was so patient with Austin. Like,
oh my God,
she would have driven me crazy.
Yeah.
She really was.
I will say Nicole was my deep cut because she was the first person I feel like when it comes to a first boot, like she was an iconic first boot. Like she got blindsided. And then my other pick, who is someone I have always adored, and I think Tori will know this because Tori knows that like my kind of Survivor player is a female who is under-edited but still somehow killing it, and that's Dara. Like the girl won.
Oh my God!
She won 3 individual immunities. She got 4th place, and she was under-edited. And I'm like, how can you let this girl get to 4th place and we know next to nothing? Like people talk about like purple edit. Like I feel like she got the first purple edit, and it annoyed me so much. So Dara is up there for me.
Oh my God! Thank you for bringing her up.
I had Love, Dara, and Rupert.
Yes. Oh my God, so good. I would 100% agree with that. And interesting that you say she was the first purple edit because that's also so true. I mean, what comes to mind when people say her name though is the fact that she was what's the word, mortician?
Yeah,
mortician.
That's what comes to mind for her. But also the fact that yes, she was a challenge beast and she played a really good game that was uncredited. So
I remember when the loved ones came out, and remember how they were asking them questions and they had to get the answer the same. And she, like her boyfriend, one of the questions is, you know, if you could be something else, what else would you be doing? And he says nurse and she says model, and they didn't get it right. And I just thought that was really cute.
That is cute. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. That was the iconic Johnny Fairplay win with the dead grandmother. So that
the most iconic move in Survivor history, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, but so some really iconic players from season 7. Pearl Islands was a great early season. I think we can all agree on that. So season 8, I mentioned we were going to skip. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up about season 8 All-Stars? Anybody?
Jenna Lewis and Cheyenne, icons in that season.
Perfectly fair. I love that. Yeah. I mean, I think Jenna's
back, Jerry's back, Sue's back, Alicia's back. Yeah.
I think one
Icons
thing
back.
about that season that I'll say is that they brought back really everybody that they needed to in terms of the women. I think
Yeah.
everybody that pretty much like all the names that we brought up, except for like maybe some of the deep cuts.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the women that we've brought up so far on
Yeah.
this episode, like they brought back for All
Yeah.
Stars. So I think that they did
Yeah.
a good job with casting.
Yeah.
And I did want to highlight Jenna just because like we saw her, like she did pretty well in her first season. I mean, she was on the jury, you know, whatever, made it pretty deep into the game. But the fact that she went as far as she did on All Stars speaks to her gaming abilities. And
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm personally really excited to see her on 50 and see what she does
Yeah.
at this stage of her life. So we will see how that goes. We've got 2 more seasons to mention. And season 9, Vanuatu. You know, this is a season that there are very few seasons at this point in my life that I've only seen once, but I've only seen Vanuatu once. So I have only one name on my list, but I'm curious to see what you all say. Ollie, do you mind going first?
You go first, Ollie.
I'm fine going first. Vanuatu is when I rewatched it recently with my partner because I was getting him obsessed with Survivor. This made me fall in love with the season. I really enjoyed this season. I cannot not talk about Amy.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore Amy as a human. I have just got
Yeah.
to talk with her, so love Amy. And then a couple of other people I want to mention. Scout. I thought Scout was so just so authentic. I think like after rewatching it, because I remember when I first watched it and gone ages away, I was like, Scout, okay. And then I rewatched it and I was like, no. I was like, Scout is there. Like she's on it. And I can't not mention Jeff Probst's ex-girlfriend, Julie Barry. I feel like
He was on my list.
Yeah, can't not mention the ex-girlfriend. But yeah, she was just really sweet. But for me, it's Amy. Amy. Love Amy Cusack.
And if I had my choice, it would be Amy as well. Like I remember when I watched it for the first time, Amy was the standout to me.
Yes.
But like now that we have hindsight on all these people, I can't not talk about Eliza, and you have to mention her. Like as kind of painful as it sometimes to watch her out there, she was extraordinary television out there. She was so smart. She was thinking about the game constantly, and she, you know, like. It's not always easy to be friends with all these people out there, and you all come from such different walks of life. And, you know, she was obviously in law school, I think, at the time, because I know she's a lawyer now, but and the fights that her and Twyla would have, my God, like
oh my God.
It was so good. Like it was, and then I also had Julie. I mean, she was so beautiful, like so beautiful to watch, like gorgeous. Yeah. And like you say, gorgeous human being. Yeah. How about you, Tony?
And some strategy there.
Yeah.
I love those choices. I'm glad you all brought those up because while I have only seen this season once, I mean, there are things that still are pretty vivid in my memory, like the Twyla and Eliza fights. And just the fact that, like, when you say Eliza was constantly thinking about the game, I remember they went on a reward challenge, they went on a reward after winning a reward challenge, and she was like talking Amy's ear off, like in the bed.
Yeah.
Amy like just wanted to go to sleep, and she's like, Eliza, you're fine. Like, stop talking.
Yeah.
So I just remembered that. But yeah, she really was constantly thinking and talking about the game. And she was very good TV. Another thing that stands out to me from this season was the pig challenge. Like, do y'all remember? Like, were they like?
Oh my God, yeah.
Like that that's ingrained in my memory. Like, I will never forget that. Like, the fact some of these old challenges, I mean, I can go on for days. We could have a whole podcast about old challenges and how like funny they were and random or whatever. But anyway, the one name that I had written down that I mentioned earlier, I just had the one name and it's Amy. So yeah, I mean, how could you not?
Bippity boppity boo, we're all Amy. Yeah.
It was
Bippity boppity Amy.
When she came back on Micronesia and didn't go as far as she could have gone, I was so upset. I mean,
Me
I
too.
wanted to watch her so
Me
much
too.
longer. I mean, for some reason, she just is very captivating. Like, she just
Yeah.
kind of like pulls people in, makes you want to root for her. I mean, she's
absolutely.
I mean, she's everything. So
Yeah.
I would personally love to see Amy one more time. I hope we get that at some point in our lives manifested again. Probably not going to happen. But,
I did an interview with her last month. You can go watch that interview if you want.
I'm going to watch it. I need to watch
Me
it.
too.
Is it out already?
Yes, out. Pride in the Tribe. Go watch.
Pride in the Tribe, y'all.
Y'all.
Go check it out. So, yeah, I guess we're all in agreement that Amy is queen of season 9, even though she's so in. But all right. And then lastly, the last season that we're going to talk about before we choose our dream tribe people is season 10, which Ollie and I were just a part of the recap on Survivor Now. We did like an off-season thing recapping season 10, Palau, and I love this season. I know that this season has some mixed reviews, but let's start with Caroline here. Caroline, who have you got from season 10?
Well, I don't think you can go past Stephanie. I mean, it's an obvious choice. I think that she's obviously one of the most outstanding women to have played, because not only has she got that physical strength and survival aspect, but she's got the smarts. So she's got the trio. She's got the survival, she's got the physical, and she's got the mental. And I mean, I during my preparation for this and doing the rewatch, like when she was the last member of her tribe, I just thought that would have been so hard to have spent that night by herself on the beach, getting a fire going. I pictured myself there, and but I think that then in her following seasons, like her mental strength. I don't know in terms of mental strength what other female we can go past in the whole of Survivor. She's extraordinary, and I really, she was amazing. One thing I really loved. Remember when out there, at the end, I think it was in the reunion, Colby says that he has adopted a child and he names the baby Janu. And I just thought that was really beautiful. That said a lot more about what their relationship was like out there than what we see in the edit. And I really, really love that. And Janu was obviously, maybe she wasn't the strongest and maybe she wasn't the most strategic, but she was also like obviously a beautiful soul out there that they like all of them adored.
Yeah. I have to say Janu was on my list. Janu was at the top of my list. Like Tori knows this. I am very meh on Palau. It was a one and done season for me. I watched it once. That's what I need to do.
Me too.
Sorry, Tori. But I loved Janu. Like I just thought she was so sweet, and I do think she got a little bit of a mistreatment. But yeah, she's definitely there. I mean, I will just quickly mention the actress known as Karen. She called herself a civil rights lawyer. She was clearly an actress. But
Karen did a few Karens.
Yes. But the deep cut I want to talk about is who's someone I think is a robbed player, Yolanda Jones. Won the first individual immunity. She managed to pick her team, and she was a strong-ass woman. Like, I thought if there was anyone that deserved to go further, it was Yolanda. So, like, robbed queen in my opinion. So she's someone I want to give a shout out
I'm
to.
with you.
Absolutely. That Yolanda came to mind for me too, because you have to wonder if they voted out just their physically weakest player first. You have to wonder if things would have turned out differently for that Oolong tribe. Maybe keeping Yolanda around, even just like a couple more votes, maybe could have kept them away from tribal at least once or twice. You have to wonder if that would have happened. So I'm glad that you brought her up. Caroline, I'm with you. I mean, how can you not talk about Stephanie? She's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah.
Just simply because of this season. I mean, she was so rootable. She was kind of like an all-around player. I was so in awe of how strong she was in those tribe challenges. And I really wanted her to do well. And I think that, she was one of the OG female heroes. So you got to bring up Stephanie when you talk about Palau. And I was actually also going to bring up somebody that unfortunately has since passed away. So rest in peace to Angie. Angie was so amazing on that season. I mean, she was worried that she wasn't even going to be picked for a tribe because if you recall, this was like a schoolyard pick to even like put people on tribes. And Angie was one of the last people picked, but she was assuming that she wasn't even going to get picked and she was going to get sent home just because she felt like an outcast. She felt like people thought of her as like a physically weaker person, but she came out one of the best challenge players in the entire season, really, let alone.
Well, that second challenge, she basically won it for them. So yeah.
I mean, she was actually outstanding in challenges, and it was really the men that sort of like messed up in some of these challenges. So I just wanted to give that shout out to Angie because, if it wasn't for Oolong losing constantly, she probably made the merge, and I would have been curious to see if she could have gone really deep into the game. So it was really unfortunate that poor tribe kept on losing. But it's interesting because, I wasn't like super, super impressed by a lot of the women on this season. And it wasn't really the women on the winning tribe that were really kind of like doing it for them. It was really like Tom and Ian and, some of the guys. So it's unfortunate for me to have to say that. So a lot of the really impressive women, unfortunately, like didn't make it as deep as I thought they should have.
If I can just give another little shout out to another angel who I think she was kind of the sweetheart season of Palau, and that is Jen. I think we can't not.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
So sweet. And,
she was literally like an angel, wasn't she?
Yeah. She really was. And, again, rest in peace. She has since passed away as well. But she, unfortunately, she got kind of like overshadowed by Steph, I think, because they were like they were sort of like that younger, stronger female on separate tribes. And Stephanie obviously like really shined because she was the only one left on her tribe and then came in and, people wanted to make her feel welcome, but then get rid of her. And so she got kind of like that edit for a little while. So that was unfortunate for Jen, but definitely loved you brought her up.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely love revisiting all of those seasons. As I said earlier, I feel like I remember and know these seasons overall kind of like better than some other groupings. So it's really fun for me always to talk about these, especially since, we're almost on season 50 or we're getting to season 40 now. We're getting towards 50. A lot of people are mainly talking these days about like the new era season. So it's really fun for me personally to go back to some of these older ones. But it is time for us to choose some people that we would have on our dream tribe. So Ollie and I have some rules. Caroline, you don't have to follow the rules. We have to have at least one. Ollie and I have a rule for ourselves that we have to have at least one pre-merger or pre-juror, because some people sort of like merge but don't like that like weird like middle area. So we're including like pre-jury members. So there has to be at least one of those, and there has to be at least one. Ollie, are we saying winner / finalist or just a winner in general?
A winner. One
winner. Okay, so we have to have.
Well, I think we've said maximum. If we're going to have a winner, we're only allowed one.
Maximum one winner, but we don't have to have a winner.
No.
So, okay, so those are our rules. We can't have more than one winner. So if we're going to choose one, we must choose wisely. But other than that, we can kind of have anyone, and we can only choose like 2 to 3 per season because our ultimate goal is to have 10 women. And so we obviously can't have like 5. Oh yeah, 2 from each like grouping of season. So no more than 2. Because if we were to choose more than that, then obviously some of the groupings of seasons wouldn't be represented. So would either of you like to go first?
I'm struggling. Caroline, if you've got picks, I think you might need to go first.
Season 1 we're talking here, aren't we?
Pardon?
Season 1?
Caroline,
so any of
go first, or would you like me to go first?
Please.
Okay. So you know what? I was sold like 100% on one person, but for the other person, I was like back and forth, and I'm still kind of like back and forth in my head. Like I don't know for sure, but I think okay, I'm gonna say it. Okay. My first person, so the person that was like kind of a no-brainer is, as I said, one of my favorite players of all time. I think she could do well in any era of Survivor, and she's played a couple of times. It's Stephanie. She's playing on 50, obviously, and I've always said that she's one of my favorite players. I mean, she just was so amazing on that first season, and unfortunately, we didn't see her go as far as she should have in Heroes versus Villains, but I think she could do well on 50. I hope she goes on a run.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's my first pick. And okay, this is actually a switch from my original person. So, and these are two people I've been back and forth on this whole time. So I originally, and this is not my pick, but I originally was going to say Heidi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because she has not played again, and she did really well on that first season. I think she's another person that could do well on any season. So I think that would be a good pick for a Dream Tribes. She would maybe be an alternate for my Dream Tribe, but ultimately I am going to go with Amy. Amy,
okay.
A person that we've seen one more time, but as I said earlier, like we didn't see her go as far as I think she should have in favorites. And I think that if she came back, she would come back with a vengeance, and I just would love to see her again. So that's going to be my pick for my second pick.
Okay, I've got mine. Are you ready, Ollie, or do you want me to go?
You go first.
Okay, just running through everything in my head. I've definitely got my top two, and they're people that I've already spoken about as well. So my first one is Kathy Faverick O'Brien. I just think her contribution to the game, we haven't had another character quite like her in terms of that very strong, but also like, I don't know, there's something unique about Kathy Faverick O'Brien that I don't know, just really touches my heart and my soul in terms of what I want to see in my female Survivor player. And my second one is Dina. And probably if you put the two of them side by side, they're not a lot like, they're probably a similar archetype, to be honest. But I love their intellect. I love their strategy. I love the fact that, you know, like the hard thing about being an older woman out there is sometimes you get lumped with the things like looking after, in terms of emotional support, other people out there, the food, the preparation, the cleaning, all that shit, which is not great. Do you know what I'm sorry? But I think they completely, like, they pushed that aside completely, and they just played their own games. They were true. Both of them were extremely true to themselves. And I think that if you looked at Survivor 25 years ago and you're looking at Survivor in 25 years, like, those women are women that we look up to. And I want the women that we're choosing to be women that we look up to.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Caroline. I think that those are two amazing choices. And obviously, we've seen Kathy play one more time, but Dina, as we said earlier, is a person, and I think to play another time. And if we brought her back, well, it's one of those people that people would go, oh, like, I kind of almost forgot about her, but I'm so glad that she's coming back. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I don't think anybody would be mad about seeing her again. So I love those picks. All right, Ollie, are you ready?
Okay, Ollie.
I don't even know if I'm ready. Like, I didn't think this was going to be that hard of an era, and it's actually been one of my hardest. It's been really hard. I want to shout out Vecepia and Sandra. They are two females winners that
Perfect.
However, I am saving my winner pick for someone else. And now that means I'm stuck between three people. One person I'm going to go with, just because I think as I have gotten older, I have really valued this player and just how she has been. So I'm going to go with Jerry. I have to go with Jerry Manthey. Like, just yes. I don't think the other Okay.
You can do it, baby.
I know. I don't know if I can. I was between two people. I've been like this. This is what I've been like the entire time because I love both of them. Okay. You picked one of them, Tori, so she's at least on one of the teams. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
I was going to go with Amy. I had my heart set on Amy. However, she is at least picked. So she is kind of just in my tribe on spirit. The other person I'm going to go for is someone I would love to have seen play again. And that is Cheyenne or Sheehan.
Yeah.
I have to go with Sheehan. Like she's just someone that I was like, do you know what? Like she was sassy. Especially on Heroes, not Heroes versus Villains, All Stars. I loved her on All Stars. I thought she was great. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Sheehan.
I love that pick. I think that's
fun fact. What's that? It's not Selling Houses New York, but it's one of those real estate shows based in New York. Sheehan was on that. Like, so it was years ago, and they, they were taking a client through a house, and Sheehan was the real estate agent.
Amazing. Oh my God.
Or the broker. I think they call them the brokers. Yeah.
Let me have a look. I'm going to look it up.
Oh, I love that. I love hearing like random little, like, what are they up to now kinds of facts. Like those are my favorite things. Oh my gosh. Well, I think that those are two amazing, like, if we're including mine as well, I think we all picked some amazing tribes. Yes. I'm with Ollie. I think it was really hard to pick in this era, especially
so hard.
It was our first time seeing the authentic version of so many iconic players like Jerry. Like Jerry is a good one to like give the example for. So, that makes it really, really hard, I think. But as I said earlier, it was so much fun to talk about these old seasons. I don't know. Like, what do you all think of these old seasons overall? Just really, really quick. Like, do you like talking about them? Do you like rewatching them?
Love rewatching them. These are the seasons that made us fall in love with Survivor. Come on. Like, if we hadn't seen these seasons, like, this is what gave us our love and our obsession with this show. Yeah. And like, I know that there was a lot of misogyny and there was a lot of patriarchy and there was a lot of stuff that we certainly sexism and the stuff that needs to be spoken about, and the fact that we can identify them so clearly now and look back on them and think, thank God we've come a long way. But they taught us so much about what we love to watch, and this is our show, isn't it? This is why we're obsessed with it. This is why the three of us are here. And I think this is how we fell in love with them all. And like, as much as we dislike a lot of these people, we also adore a lot of them. So
yeah, absolutely. I think you said that.
Regardless of how we feel about like various players, I think that we all appreciate what they did out there and like what they did for us and what they did for the show. So players, thank you for giving us Survivor. And thank you both for being here. It was so much fun to talk to both of you. Caroline, iconic woman right here. Go watch Survivor Australia, Survivor AU, if you can. I am still obviously working on it, but as soon as I do, Caroline, your season is first on my list. And now we are friends, so I know exactly who to root for.
If anyone needs the links, just message me. I will get you covered.
And so they've just announced Australia versus the world, Sunday, August 17th, for everybody who doesn't know, which I don't imagine there's one person that listens or watches this podcast that doesn't already know that. But the three of us are going to be glued to our television sets that night. And for the next 2 nights that week, it's going to be wild. Can't wait.
Excited. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is a big thing coming up. And stay tuned for more Babes and Buffs as well, because we've got lots more seasons to talk about. We have a lot more amazing women to put on our list. And Ollie and I need to add to our dream tribe. So we're going to see who ends up with the strongest dream tribe of all women. And I'm sure they're both going to be amazing. Caroline, your picks were also amazing. And thank you all for listening. And we will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.